Hello again, I am Jim Bob and welcome back to F1 Manager 24 Creator Team with Brabham here on the PS5. And tonight could be George's final race for us. Hopefully it'll be his final race for us. Dying to get Kimi Antonelli into the car, but until he will accept a contract, it's not happening. So hopefully after tonight's race, we will be able to promote him up. Speaking of tonight's race, we are heading to Suzuka for the Japanese. And hopefully everything is going to look that little bit cleaner and crisper tonight. Turns out I was using the wrong encoder because I was trying to stream HDR content in a format that doesn't support HDR. So everything should look a little bit better visually tonight, I hope. Still playing about with the audio levels, so again, please do let me know if the game's too loud, if I'm too loud, if the game's too quiet and I'm too quiet. I will try and figure out how to fix that on the fly. We'll see how we go. How you doing, Dino? Good to see you tonight. Let's get ready for Suzuka. Start off by, as we always do, by just checking out how our drivers are feeling. Those are some damned impressive stats for Oscar, considering that he is only, happy, not fully enthusiastic right now. So very pleased to see that. George's stats have had a little boost now that he's no longer doing sponsor work. Let's not forget as well, Oscar is doing some sponsor work at the moment for us. So he could have been all the way up in enthusiastic, but I think that's probably what's bumped him down a bit. How you doing, Wayne? Good to see you. So our drivers are looking good. Let's take a look at the car. We've got a new chassis due in 2 days. To go into production, so we'll have to get that going as soon as we get back from Japan. It's still a month away on the front wing, but I think everything else does now have a Spec 2 part. We've got side pods in the works. It's another 5 days until our second one is complete. And let's take a quick look in the warehouse. So both cars still running the original chassis, but that will be changing soon. Hopefully by China, we'll have both cars running the new chassis. Same with the front wing, got a way to go before we get off the front wing. Rear wing, they are both on the new rear wing. Side pods, we can fit that to one car. We're going to fit that to Oscar. Underfloor, they are both running the same underfloor. And they are both running the same suspension as well. So, with that, we are ready, I think, to head to to Suzuka. Before we do that, though, we're going to have a quick look at how our car sits on the grid. So, let's start with our biggest rivals at the moment, Red Bull. And they do not look good in the downforce stakes, do they? They really don't. In terms of ranking, anyway. In terms of numbers, they're not that far behind us in the low speed. All things considered. 2.650 against 2.678. It's not a lot, but it's the difference of 13 places on the grid. So we're looking at pretty small margins here. They're very, very close in the medium and pretty close in the high speed as well. Got a nice little 3.5%-ish, 3.7% lead in the dirty air, and that only equates for 15 positions in the rankings. And then tyre wear, yeah, they are lagging a bit there, but they're way ahead in engine cooling. Speed-wise, about 0.3 kilometers of an hour in their favour. We have a slight, and I do mean slight, edge on them acceleration-wise. It's minuscule. And then DRS, they are slightly quicker than us with a 2% gain. But again, that equates to 7 positions in the rankings. So it looks bad there, but it's not actually that bad. in terms of their downforce. Let's take a quick look at McLaren. McLaren are mighty in terms of downforce numbers. They've definitely got a big advantage on us in the medium speed. Pretty sizable in the high speed as well. Less so in the low speed. We are slightly better in the dirty air. Slightly better with our tyres. We are lagging behind in engine cooling. About 2.5% down in DRS. Slightly up in terms of speed. We've got a nice advantage on them in acceleration though. That will definitely play in our favour. Who else has been quick? I want to have a look at Sauber. Sauber have been the surprise car this year. They've put together a really good car, and you can see in their numbers there they've got speed and downforce. Lacking a little bit in the acceleration, but apart from that, yeah, they're pretty good. And they've got the best tyre wear on the grid as well, just better than us. So yeah, we can expect to see Sauber really pushing the points a lot this year, I think, if they can keep that kind of performance going. And let's take a look at how Ferrari are getting on. We know that they had an absolute disaster of a car. It is a little bit better. They're not too far off now in terms of speed. Lagging a little bit in the acceleration. They're only just down in the DRS. Their downforce numbers not great, but not a million miles away. About just under 4% away in the dirty air. About the same in the tyre wear. But their drivers are what's really letting them down right now. Alright, let's set our targets for tonight. 7th for Oscar. I haven't checked the weather. It's too late now. We'll check it as soon as we get there. And 13th for George. Let's send them to Japan.
Konnichiwa from the Suzuka circuit in Japan. The home of Honda, Suzuka is an old-school circuit with high-speed straights and tight turns through the S's. At 130R, the track crosses over itself, then loops back around, giving drivers a sweeping expanse of track to challenge them. It was Charles Leclerc who tasted victory in the last race, but he will surely be looking to find the recipe for success again and achieve another podium place. Now let's get the weekend underway.
Evening, Corey. Oh, so it's a very wet weekend. Look at that. We got light rain through practice and quali, and then heavy rain on the Sunday. So this is going to be our first real wet weather test this season. Let's see how well we can get on. Gonna go with Kimi again for George. Want to keep giving him outings, trying to get him prepped and ready. I'm gonna give Abby an outing today as well. Don't think we've put her in the car yet, so let's give her a run. We'll start with softs. Run plan. It's normally about 17 or 18 laps for Suzuka. We're going to go 25. That'll be enough to get the feedback and get the drivers up to 100% completion on their young driver program. Let's do the same with Kimi. Will this be his last F1 or FP1 outing as an affiliate? I hope so. I hope we'll be able to put him in the car after this evening's race. Let's think what I want to do setup wise. Let's go with... I can never remember if I need a strong wing or a weak front wing. I think I'm going to go with a 7 might be just a touch too much. We'll leave it on a 12.5. Pretty sure I need something like that, although it might possibly be the other way around. And then let's go with something like that. Do I need to change parts over? I think we're still on the original parts, aren't we? Yes, we are. We should still be fine. That's good. Let's do car 1, Oscar's car. We will go with slightly less on the front wing, a little bit more on the rear wing. Let's go with a 3.7. Okay, so I've gone the wrong way on the roll bar on the other car. And this one we'll try hedging our bets by going the opposite way this way as well. Try that. And let's send them out.
Sessions should be starting now.
Radio check. Hey, firm loud, clear.
Radio check, please.
Yep, that's loud and clear.
Copy.
And we want to generate some temperature for this outlet.
Copy.
Just be mindful of curves.
Copy.
Alright, slightly increase the gain on the mic, turn the gain volume down just a little bit. How about now? Good balance, or do I need to tweak it a bit more?
How are the tires?
Surface temperature is currently looking quite low.
Yeah, this is an open question for anyone who's watching. You know, if you've got feedback on the audio, please do give me that feedback. You know, let me know.
Just say what you'd like on the...
While we're making this switch over to streaming through OBS, it is going to take me a while to get my head around all of the different settings. Alright, so it looks like we have gone the wrong way with Antonelli. Let's see how Abby gets on. She's going to be a while yet. She's only at 2 of 5.
The range is 3 to 4 minutes away.
Copy.
We're happy to slide this tyre a little bit more, try and get it in the window.
Very light spots of rain now.
Picture should be better for everyone as well. As I say, I'm using a better codec, one that's actually designed for HDR streaming. So the color balance should be a lot better.
Everything okay?
Yeah, I don't know what on earth is going on.
Understood.
Alright, it's a bad setup for both. We're at 92% on their runtime. Yeah, I didn't even realise that I would need a different codec for HDR inside OBS. I'm so used to just everything being automatic on the console. You know, just press a button and boom, everything's done. So I've got more control doing it this way, but it's more complicated and it's going to take a little while to figure everything out. And I don't think I can do this for Twitch. I don't know if Twitch supports HDR streaming. I think it should do by now, but at the time of release of the video I watched earlier, it was, which was a couple of years ago, you know, YouTube were the only ones that did HDR streaming. 96, we're getting there.
Tyre temps are still low.
There we go, 100. So that is the end of our rookie run. Let's make some changes to the car. Okay, so we're looking at a 13.5. That's higher than I was expecting. We weren't too far away with the roll bar. Let's try a 9.1. Let's bring this up. I think that's probably too much. Let's go the other way. Let's go to a 6.4. Let's bring that back a bit. Go back to a 7.3. Bring that back down a touch more. Push that up a bit. Yeah, that looks all right. I'm gonna go with that. Leave that on a 5.5 for now. Let's try that. So, interestingly, Abby is only 4/10 away from Kimmy. Surprised, I thought the gap would be a little bit bigger than that. Mind you, Abby is running the side pod with better performance for the car. Whether that's contributing or not, I don't know. Might be. Maybe she is a good half a second or so slower. She was definitely a lot slower in the rain. Right, end of first practice. Evening, Strofan. Not seen you pop in chat for a while. Getting our regular drivers back in the car. Let's go with a good 32 laps of fuel. Let's see how the changes that we've made work. Weather, so it's going to be wet for most of the session. Do need to remember to pop out towards the end on a set of mediums. Let's see how these changes work.
Feedback on the car? All good? Yeah.
Well, that's a little bit better. 86. How far away? Oh, it's just still a little way off.
Feedback on track. DRS enabled. Okay.
And only 74 for Oscar, but it's a big improvement on the 22% that we had when we ran it with Abby. So there's definitely still work to do to improve these cars. Getting down to the point where the track is dry, so gonna call them in.
Copy.
Let's make a few quick tweaks and changes. Let's see. So yeah, that needs to be at least a 7.3. That's too high. Got to bring that down. And let's go with that. Yeah, we'll go with that. Let's see how that works. And put on those mediums. Straight into the pit box. Let's take that down. Everything else is pretty close. Let's drop the front wing down a little bit. Drop that down. Let's try that. Again, let's put on a set of mediums. Don't want the game taking too many sets of softs away from me, or else we won't have anything good to qualify with.
Let me know if you need more temp tyres.
We're happy to slide this tyre a little bit more, try and get it in the window.
Getting to the end of the session. Why is my... I was trying to say, why is there a mouse cursor on my screen? It's it's the PC feed.
That's the checkered flag.
All right, we've got full feedback from Oscar, up to 97%. So those changes definitely worked.
Any feedback?
Will we get George to give us his little bit of feedback before he makes it to the pits? I don't think
Understood,
so.
Oscar.
Max topping the timings. I forgot to look at the Williams, didn't I? All right, well, we'll take a look at Williams after the race in preparation for China. All right, we want the hard tyres. We don't want a long run. We're already maxed on driver prep there. So let's see if I can tweak the setup. Do I go 8 or do I go 7? Let's go 8. Let's see if that works. If it doesn't, we know we can change it the other way. Let's just go with 20 laps of running. Might not be out for 20 laps. Let's take a look at George. Not quite there. Let's bring that down a bit more. Let's go with that.
Okay, that's green light.
Okay, it's going to rain reasonably soon. But we do need to run the hards, or else we'll sacrifice too many sets of softs again. Let's just hope we can get the feedback in before the weather hits, or before it gets too bad.
It's raining on my visor, my rain is here. Copy.
You sure it's rain, George? You sure it's not just a little bit of sweat? Oh, we have a crash. And it looks like a Ferrari might be involved.
Debris.
So let's take a look at the replay. We're watching the Ferrari, cutting it so close. And the impact on the car, it's quite clear. I imagine
that
their
Norris
confidence
that he
will have
hit?
taken a knock.
It was Norris.
So just
96 to George, so we went slightly the wrong way.
Copy that.
Well, actually, no, because we never got full feedback last time, so that might actually have been an improvement. Find out when it gets back to the pits, which will be at the end of this lap.
How's the balance?
We'll call Oscar in as well.
Understood.
Oscar for lane.
Take care when you stop in the box.
Copy. Will be slippery on pit exit. Alright, copy that.
Ah, perfect, there we go. So that is going to have to go up a bit more. That's too much. We'll go with that. His qualifying run. We're not going to send it back out. Don't need to. We can always try and improve if we've made a mistake by tweaking the front wing after his first qualifying run. So that's it for practice.
And here we've got a yellow flag.
Stroll doing Stroll things. So while the session plays out and we're going to sit in the garage, we'll just pop a quick ad break in.
Now we can see what happened. So here we go, heading into turn one. And that's where they
That's not
slightly
gonna do his
run
underfloor
off the
any good.
track. They've got to be careful and watch the car there.
See if he damaged it. No, but Leclerc's got some damage, as he damaged his underfloor. Must have done. Yeah. And so that's a damaged underfloor. That'll be a part used up, because that'll have to be switched out before qualifying. So Red Bull losing a spare part. That's good to see. And that is it for practice.
We're moving on now to the all-important qualifying session.
Suzuka is a notorious circuit both for its unpredictable weather and the difficulty of closely following other cars. Making the right call on when to head out to avoid traffic and dirty air can make all the difference here.
Karun, there's Yuki Tsunoda. How would you describe things for him at the moment?
They had an excellent performance in practice, setting a solid lap time. They must be feeling confident. But confidence doesn't necessarily mean success in Formula One.
So here we are, ready to resume.
All right, potential rain in quali. Let's see how we get on. So it is going to rain in this session.
Sessions should be starting now.
We'll get out nice and early. Got Gasly in front of us as well as Perez. Is he in front or between? You can see everyone else starting to pile out behind us now as we leave the pit lane. This is going to be a one and done session, I think, looking at that weather graph. So absolutely essential that we do not hit traffic. And everybody's coming out, so there should not be any issues with traffic. Trying to see where Perez is. Is he behind or is he in front? I think he must be in front. Let's take a look at the circuit map. Where is Perez? Oh, he's there. Oh, I thought he was... Oh, never mind.
And drive straight out, drive straight out. Track will be clear.
You're good to open the lap.
All clear ahead. Good to go.
Evening, Adrian. Yeah, he's just in time for the start of qualifying. So, Gasly purple, but he's the first one to set a time. Oscar goes purple, and now we need to see if anyone else takes it away from him. George goes quicker. No one's gone quicker than George yet. Now Norris has. Now Leclerc. So Leclerc looking very quick, as you would expect. George again quicker than Oscar through the middle sector. And across the line, it's a 126.6. A 126.5 for George.
Currently P1.
Ricardo half a second slower than Oscar. Here comes Leclerc. Did not go purple in the middle sector. Norris pops up to third. Leclerc into second. Splits the two Brabhams. And Ocon pops up into fourth. So
We are
it's
expecting
Brabham, Red Bull,
rain
Brabham,
in
Red Bull so far.
5 to 7 minutes.
Both Ferraris now in the drop zone. And like I said, I don't think anyone's going to be able to improve because it is going to start raining very, very soon. We certainly don't need to go again. We're quick enough. But everyone else is going to try and scramble out for another lap. And you can see the water level now 0.2. I don't think we'll see much in the way of improvement, if anything. Oh, we've got a crash. One of the Ferraris and Stroll. And it's red flagged the session. And Stroll, the innocent party, actually goes up into the fans. Oh dear.
It's not going the way the team had hoped today, that is for sure.
Yeah, I can see why they're red flagged that. Well, that's it. No one's going to improve now. The track's going to be way too wet. So, Petit, Porsche, Stroll, Mori, Gasly, and Iwasa are eliminated at the end of Q1. Water level's going to hold consistently at this now till the end of the session. And Petit has got a 3-place grid penalty, so he will start no better than 20th. Evening hyperspeed. Okay then, Q2, we did make a slight mistake. Let's pull that back to a 7.5. And let's queue in 2 flying laps of fuel. See what happens with the weather. Okay, so it's going to dry out towards the end of the session. Let's get out early. Mercedes aren't in great shape at the moment, but they're not horrendous. Given, you know, that they've got some decent drivers. Sauber are pretty strong this year. Williams are pretty strong this year. Red Bull and McLaren still pretty nasty to deal with. Ferrari are in utter shambles. They went bankrupt. So they've got the worst possible driver lineup, no affiliates, and not an amazing car either.
Good gaps ahead of everyone. Good to go.
Oscar, you've got a clear track ahead. So Oscar, happy to open a lap.
Ricciardo's bounced around a bit. He was with RB in season 1. Season 2 we signed him. Then we replaced him with George for season 3, and at the earliest possible opportunity we're going to be ditching George for Antonelli this year. Just waiting on Antonelli's contract issues to resolve. Once again, George is quicker. This time Oscar has the edge in the middle. So George sets the initial pace with a 1:31.2. Oscar goes a tenth quicker. And we've got another red flag.
Have we got a red flag?
Sonoda at his home Grand Prix. What has he done? Oh wow, that's a really odd place to spin off. So, red flags are plenty here. That's 2 in 2 sessions now. Let's take a look whether it's going to be pretty consistent like this now. Got 10 minutes to go. I'm going to wait. And now we're going to go.
Wake up those rear brakes.
Copy.
So Charles Leclerc has set the pace. No surprise, the track is definitely drier than when we did our lap.
This could be difficult with traffic at the end of the lap.
And off we go.
Let's go.
2 flying laps. Let's see if we can improve our time. Make
Traffic.
sure that we're definitely going to go through.
Good to go.
I'll be very disappointed if we don't make it. coming out of 130R into the triangle. It's a good lap for George. Slightly down for Oscar in that first sector. Goes up to P4. And George goes top. Max in second now. Just 9 thousandths behind us. Where is Max? There he is. So everyone else heading to the pits. Will we see anyone else come out one more time? I don't think so. So we'll get another lap just to see what our pace potential is like. But we are probably safe. We're definitely safe with George. Probably safe with Oscar as well. Evening, Clark. And no one else is coming out, so we're just going to abort this lap. No point finishing it. Sonoda is out, along with Valtteri Bottas, Stoffel Van Dorn, Liam Lawson, Sergio Perez, and Alex Albon. Alright, let's get ready for Q3. Going to start dry. We have gained a slight improvement by tweaking the front wing like that. We'll leave it as is. There's no point messing with it any further. It's not going to do anything, except maybe make the car a little bit worse. And it is, again, going to be a one and done session.
Okay, that's green light.
Everyone's already piling out. We're going to have to wait, I think. Let's try and send George out now. See if we can get a little bit of clean running now. One of the Mercedes is going to track us. There goes Charles Leclerc. Out comes Oscar.
We'll focus on the brakes a bit.
Copy.
So this is it then, a one-lap shootout for pole. A yellow flag now could be disastrous for whoever gets held up by it.
It's all clear ahead. And good to go. Drive straight out, track will be clear.
You're good to open the lap.
Alright, here we go then. Norris setting the early pace. It's still us and Leclerc to come through. And Ocon. Can't discount Ocon. Norris is still quickest in Q1. Sorry, in Sector 1. Now Oscar goes purple. Max goes purple in the second sector, immediately taken away from him by Norris. Max, the first car to be crossing the line. Russell is quickest in the middle sector. Quicker than Oscar. This is going to be really tight here across the line. Russell takes pole position by
Currently
0.2.
P1.
It's provisional.
And we will box end of this lap.
Charles Leclerc is only third. What can Oscar do as the rain starts to fall?
Light rain in the pit lane now.
He goes P2.
Covering.
We have locked out the front row, it would seem. Ocon
P2.
4/10 away. And I
Good job,
don't think the
Oscar. Straight lap.
Alpines are going to do anything. Here comes Joe. And across the line, he goes P6. Now Logan Sargent goes P6. And that's it. Nobody's going to improve, I don't think, now, with the rain starting to fall. So it looks as though we've locked out the front row. Norris in third place. Then it's Ocon. Leclerc down in fifth. Then Logan Sargent in sixth place ahead of teammate Joe. The two Mercedes of Ricciardo and Sainz, 8th and 9th. And Max in 10th. Confirmation of the qualifying in total then. So that's your top 10. Then it's going to be Valtteri 11th, Van Dorn 12th, Lawson and Perez 13th and 14th. Then it's Albon in 15th. 16th for Yuki Tsunoda. Failed to set a time in Q2 after his crash. Brought out a red flag. Sylvain Petit is 17th, but with a 3-place penalty, so he'll drop to 20th. Then it'll be Pourchaire in 17th, 18th for Stroll, 19th for Mori, 20th for Petit. Williams is Gasly 21st, Iwasa 22nd. Let's see if anyone else is going to start from the pits. And we're going to take a short break.
With 53 figure-of-8 laps around this historic circuit.
Anything can happen at Suzuka, as Kimi Raikkonen proved in 2005. The Finn battled all the way from 17th to win. Will we see a similar show of will and talent today, I wonder?
Suzuka is a high-speed, high-downforce circuit with unpredictable weather. Drivers need to have total trust in their cars to make the most of this challenging figure-of-8 lap. It's race day with the teams and drivers ready and raring to go.
Alright then, so a full wet race. Let's get strategy sorted. Oops, wrong button. There we go. Alright, we're going to get some interesting peaks. But I don't know if those peaks are going to translate into full wet conditions. I would have to imagine they are. I'm wondering if it's worth us maybe starting on the full wets. No, I think if we start on the inters and we just push them really hard and then see what happens. We've definitely got a period of inters from lap 20-ish through to about lap 40, and then it looks like it might potentially go back to full wets. Yeah, we're just going to start on the inters and see how we do. Let's take some fuel out. Let's take 2 laps of fuel out. And let's go for it at the start. Don't normally do this. We don't normally just go for it, you know, all guns blazing. But if we are going to need to change tyres, then we're going to need to build up as big a gap as possible over anyone who started on the full wets. Let's send them to the start of the Japanese Grand Prix.
Welcome back, everyone. The final preparations are now being made as we head into the race. Time for Oscar Piastri to show what he can do.
They're in second place on the grid, but that could so easily change in the first few seconds after lights out.
Here we go. It's time to go racing.
Looks like Norris had inters on.
The drivers are warmed up. They're ready to go here at the Japanese Grand Prix. And it's lights out, and away we go.
Decent start off the line. George getting away well. Norris looking to go around the outside. And we run him out wide. And it is looking like full wets, according to that. So we need to sprint like crazy here.
Nice to get past.
Copy. Just show me what you've got.
Yeah.
So Lawson has some damage. You can see that's underfloor. Porsche has got a fault. Did not take long. about 6 minutes away from full wets, according to that. This is where we could do with a better quality weather system than what we have.
Just any feedback on the conditions.
And the radar is not particularly good. Got a little bit of a lead opening up over Norris now.
George, recommend we start bringing the battery pack up.
Copy.
Reminder for the recharge button.
Yeah.
It's still not conclusive, look. If we do hit wets, it might only be very briefly. So I'm going to dial the tyres down now. Everyone's on inters. It's way too dry for wets
Manage, please.
Copy.
at the moment.
Lift off end of straight.
Yeah.
Overtake is available.
Yeah, copy, all good. Use overtake. Copy. Overtaking is very, very difficult.
So we think there's still opportunities here.
Getting up towards 2 mil. As Oscar moves on through. Norris snapping on our heels. Leclerc right there as well. Knock on just a second further back. So that early pace gave us a little bit of breathing room temporarily, but that has gone away. And we have a yellow flag.
Yellow, yellow.
Spin for Valtteri. He's managed to hold position though. So he hasn't dropped a place, but he has lost about 5 seconds to the back of Max as a result of that. .3 mil on the track now. The fact that we're still 3 minutes away from full wets means that it probably won't go too much above 4.5 at most, maybe 5 at an absolute push as a peak. But it will come down pretty quickly, so it might be better to just stay on the inters rather than boxing for wets. It might not be long enough to make them work before we have to get off them again. This is kind of the baseline for the dip that we're going to see between those two peaks. And it's only about 2.6, 2.7. That's not enough to keep the wets competitive. So this is going to be another race where we could potentially get caught out with tyre choice here. We haven't fared very well on this version of the game when it comes to tricky to read conditions like this. Canada last year springs to mind, but we had problems at Japan last year as well, if memory serves. Or the year before, one of the two, where we just didn't get the tyre choice as good as we could, and we just kept bouncing from tyre to tyre. Sometimes that preemptive gamble pays off. Sometimes it leaves you in a really bad position because the weather doesn't end up behaving how you think it will. Up to 3.5. I mean, that says it's going to be wet for an extended period of time, but I'm not convinced. We're going to box George this lap. We'll leave Oscar out.
Yeah, box.
See what happens at the end of next lap. And Leclerc's boxing, so we are not the only ones making this gamble. Charles Leclerc and Carlos Sainz coming in this lap as well. It's a 2.3 second stop, and we got held for Sainz. Luckily Leclerc got held for us. Ferrari coming out as well. And there, like you see, it's just twitched. It's now only going to be 8 minutes at most. I don't think it's even going to be that.
3.2. Car behind. Yeah, behind 1.8.
I think we basically have to leave Oscar out there now.
Let's push and get past him.
Key thing is to keep the tyre in good shape. Keep the tyre in good shape.
Copy.
I don't know. I don't know what to do. I need to make a decision. I need to make a decision. I'm so close to boxing him. Yeah, I'm gonna box him.
Box this lap.
See if anyone else follows us in.
Copy, box.
Norris stays out. Ocon boxes. So Red Bull have matched us.
Copy.
They've boxed both of their drivers. That's a better stop. 2.1. Decent stop for Ocon. There's George. George is ahead of Charles Leclerc, but not by much. Oh, it's tight. It's tight.
Your P14. Next car is Stroll.
And we've held him off just. So the gap is just over a second.
Okay, let's see if we can get past.
It's up to 4.6 mil on the track. And it's now definitely too wet for the Inters. It's getting worse as well, 4.7. Oh, man. Porsche's fault has escalated to
But
orange
there.
already.
Oh dear, that's not what they need right now.
And it's gearbox as well. That gearbox is not healthy at all. Will he box or will he stay out? He's boxing. So Norris stayed out a lap too long. Way too long. And who else is going to come in? Joe's hanging it out there. So is Max. Meanwhile, Oscar moving up through the field on those wets.
Lovely stuff.
Or where you can, George, we'll call the PU.
Copy.
PU calling Oscar. Copy.
Now we're into that really awkward position of trying to fight our way through. We do still have some battery,
Use the overtake button.
so we're going to spend that on this lap.
Overtake is available.
I'm also going to push the fuel to try and brake
Can
late.
reduce the light flow slightly.
Copy.
The quicker we can get through this traffic, the better. See, the Red Bulls are starting to cut their way through as well. We'll go around the outside of Sonoda here. It's up to 5.25 mil and still climbing. Sonoda gets pushed a little wide. That should let George through. We're instantly past Iwasa as well. Oh, now we're under pressure.
Pack is
And
low.
we get boxed in. That's what I was worried about.
Yeah, copy. There's only so much I can do.
And there we go, around the outside of Porsche. So much more
Recharge
grip.
on.
Come on, George. Just need to get alongside. If we can get alongside Sonoda. And the opportunity's gone.
Charge the pack.
Driving in clean air does not seem to be helping him. Oscar having a look at Gasly.
Copy.
And Leclerc's long gone. Still, we can't get through.
Finding free air where we can for this PU temp.
Yeah, copy.
Oh god, now we're boxed in behind the other with Ocon as well.
There are opportunities ahead.
Oh, we're losing so much time here.
All I can do right
much.
Signs behind.
This is a nightmare scenario for us here. It's stuck behind the inters and not able to punch through. And we have a yellow flag.
Copy.
Overtaking is very, very difficult.
Stroll has crashed. Stroll doing Stroll things. He's behind us. Just drops it at the exit of Degner 2.
Oh man, that was such.
So you got a car on the barrier. Look out for debris.
Gotta get past Gasly.
Recharge on.
And finally, we're past Sonoda. Ocon's still stuck behind him. Now we're going to get boxed in again by the Red Bull. This time it's going to be Oscar getting boxed. Oh, what a disaster. We made the right call, but we just haven't had the luck cutting through the traffic.
So we are now P9. Car ahead is Leclerc.
It's not going to go back to damp for very long before it hits the wet again. There we go, we've held him off. Need to cool the temps down.
Yep. We must increase the level of lift and coast.
Cool the car.
Yep. Copy.
There we go, through up the inside, about time. Norris has got through on Russell now. Oh no, that's Porsche. The one up the inside. Nope.
If this continues like this, not going to overtake.
Oscar, cool the car where you can.
There we go, we are finally through, but look at the track water level. It's dropping and dropping fast.
And if you can just cool the tyres as much as you can.
Copy.
Maximum PU cooling.
Caught back up to Leclerc. And we're now back into inter-territory. But only for a small window of time. Valtteri, a very canny driver here. This is blocking us at every opportunity. This time Oscar is going to have a proper look.
Oscar suggests reduce a bit, lift and coast.
And still can't get the move done.
No hop done. Suggest increased LICO.
So let's just keep these tyres in good condition.
Yep, fine.
Let's get some battery back in the car now. We're going to need it.
Recharge on is good.
Copy.
Given how hard it's been for us to get through the traffic, I'm wondering if the AI would have fared that much better. I mean, Leclerc's still stuck behind Gasly, and it makes me think maybe we should have stayed out on the Inters.
Okay, use deploy.
Yep.
Surely this time. Finally.
Recharge on.
Sweet.
Nice work, Oscar.
Now we should be able to take a look here. Now look, here we head into turn 2. There's the opening. And 5th place after that.
Still got work to do with George, who's under increasing pressure from Ocon now.
Seems to be raining a lot.
Can we go around Leclerc? Yes, we can. Can we go around Gasly? Tyres are overheating in these conditions. Need it to start getting wetter again.
George, recommend we start bringing the battery pack up. And overtake is available. Now we'll just have some PU cooling.
Still getting wetter. No, getting drier, sorry.
Tires are good. Yep.
The recharge on is good.
It's not going to be anywhere near as bad weather-wise in this second stint that's coming up. Tyre temps are going up through the roof.
feedback on these tyres?
Feel okay so far.
Recharge on.
And now we've lost out to Pierre Gasly. Still, the track is getting drier.
Deep breath. You're going to be okay.
Come on, where's the weather?
Let's get into the tyre cooling, please.
Need that rain. Ah, here it comes, finally.
It's raining a lot heavier now in the pit lane.
That took too long. Piastri's tyres are still in really good shape. George's not quite as good. Wasn't able to control the temperatures as well as I thought I was. It's a little lax putting him into full tyre saving mode there. But they're in much better shape than Leclerc's tyres. Who's out another place here though? Sargent's in. He's on full wets. Now what's he going for? Another set of wets, or is he going on back onto inters?
There's still opportunities here.
Stoffel goes through. He's going on to another set of full wets. Going to go full wets at the end, but the question is, do we go full wets as well, or do we try and tough it out on inters for those closing laps? I suppose it's all going to depend on where we are on track and the condition of other people's tyres. Leclerc's going to have to box. We've been absolutely melting his tyres in that dirty air. Down to 37%. We're getting back on terms with Van Dorn. Let's see if we can jump in with some battery.
Overtake available.
Copy.
Overtake available.
Away.
Charge the pack.
There we go, back up into 6th. Tyre temps are coming down. Water levels going up.
Okay, Oscar, recharge on.
Yuki's in. Fresh set of wets for Sonoda. I don't think it's going to be wet enough to justify putting on a fresh set at this point. We're better off sticking to the tyres that we've still got. And then going on to a fresh set of inters.
So happy to push now.
We can use the pace now.
George's tyres still too hot. There we go. Leach a little bit more heat out of them.
Flat out.
Leclerc in real dilemma time now. Does he box for a fresh set of wets, or does he try and do what we're going to do? Stay on the wets that he's got and tough it out long enough to go on to a fresh set of inters. He's staying out for now. And there we go, we are back in the ascendancy pace-wise now.
Okay, to push. Suggest reduce a bit, lift and coast.
Copy.
Valtteri and Van Dorn just ahead of us.
Overtake will be available.
Copy.
Just cool the car.
Yep.
Cool the PU where you can, please.
Okay.
Roll up the inside into spoon. There you go. Lovely stuff.
Copy. Nice one.
Nice job. So currently P8. Gap 1.4.
You can see we haven't got long left.
Free to use the tyre more now.
Use overtake.
Copy.
That was weird. Little noise that I was not expecting to hear. I don't know what caused it.
Nice.
Good step there. Car ahead is R04.
Evening, Farrett. And now we have the better grip. Move done.
Just stay close to him.
And we are past Albon. Ricardo up next.
Well done.
Water level's going to be peaking
Okay,
very soon.
P7.
Valtteri's come in.
Go ahead now, Gasly. So get ahead of 1.1.
So he's getting off those inters. Is he putting on a fresh set, or is he going to make the rather silly switch now to a set of wets? He's getting fresh inters. Meanwhile, we go around Ricardo
That is currently
at the
P3.
hairpin.
Next car is Verstappen.
P3 now for Oscar. George now on Gasly. Leclerc's still out there.
Keep your head down.
His tyres really screaming at him now.
We'll have overtake available.
And Zhou is in from the lead.
Recharge on. Pack is low.
This will probably be for a fresh set of inters as well. It is. It's a good stop from Alpine as well. Nice and smooth. Russell up the inside of Albon. And through he moves. Still, the water level is climbing just ever so slightly. Should be on the downward swing, so that's going to come very, very soon now.
Gap 2.9.
And those that haven't stopped to put on the wets and stayed out on those inters, they're going to need to change to a new set of inters soon anyway. So we're right back in contention now. Having been stuck in traffic for a while. See how quickly we're closing down Verstappen here.
Recharge button on.
We go up the inside of Ricardo. George gets his elbows out, pushes them out a little wide, but we are through.
Good job. So Piastri next car.
And surely now it's
Yes,
just a matter of time
7.7.
before we get past Verstappen. And still, that water level is climbing.
How's the tyre?
It's still okay.
And there we go, around the outside. And that is us through.
Good job. P1. Make sure we get the pack back.
There is Leclerc, and is he going to get a puncture? His tyres are on their last legs. Same for Ocon as well, his tyres down at 20%. And he's stuck in the dirty air behind Van Dorn as well. A lock-up now for either Red Bull is going to be pretty much an instant puncture. And now the water level's falling.
Reducing in the pit lane now.
And there is the puncture for Charles Leclerc.
Box this lap.
Copy, box.
Well, box.
Yeah, stop.
And Ocon's punctured as well.
George, recommend we start bringing the battery pack up.
That's a disaster for Red Bull. Everyone else starting to dive into the pits. There you can just see Leclerc being released. It's a good stop for Ocon. But he will have lost some time as a result of that puncture as well. It's going to drop him right down towards the back, albeit with cars in front to box. George just having a little sniff at the back of Max there. Pourchaire's engine has gone, his gearbox has gone. That's going to be a retirement for Pourchaire.
Oh dear. What a miserable way to bow out of this one.
Not been a good weekend for him. And that kills what could have been a decent-ish recovery. Into the pits now for Oscar.
Remember, the pit lane is wetter.
Yeah, copy.
Max coming in as well. George. That's a bad stop.
Will be slippery on
3.2 seconds. Could have been worse. That's a better stop. 2.0. There's
Sorry for
Max
that.
pulling into his pit box. And he's held for us. So we have jumped Verstappen in the pit lane.
and track will be clear on exit.
We're at third place.
You're currently P3, Oscar.
Ricardo and Gasly have yet to put on fresh tyres.
Gasly.
Joe has gone through.
Car behind is Joe. 1.0 behind.
And this is going to be us now till around about lap 43, 44. And then it's do we put the wets on? Or do we try and tough it out on the inters?
More lift and coast for these PU temps.
Copy.
And of course that prediction could change. Pourchaire's now in the pits and out. So where is Leclerc? Leclerc is in 11th place right now, having put some fresh inters on after that puncture. But he is 21 seconds behind George Russell. 28 seconds behind Oscar, and that's a puncture for T. Why didn't Ferrari stop him? Maybe they were just enjoying running in the points, however briefly it was. And now he's going to plummet. It's been a disaster for Ocon as well, down in 19th place. So we're up to the back of Gasly. Yuki comes in. Second set of wets did him no favours. He's now back onto the inters. I'm going to try and use that superior grip of the fresh tyres. So I'll have to wait till the end of the lap. Then see Zhou behind. He's P2 on paper. George currently running a net P3.
And Oscar, call the PU where you can.
Copy.
And there we go. Just swooping around the outside with that superior level of grip. Just 38% left on Gasly's tyres. Ricciardo at 37. He's going to be pretty easy to get through as well.
Job.
Let's see, we are lapping 0.6 of a second quicker than Zhou. I think we lost some time to Max on that last lap.
Overtake is available. Alright, copy that.
Use overtake.
And we are straight onto Ricciardo. Let's see if we can get this move done quickly and efficiently here. Yeah, there we go. Nicely through. Leclerc's recovered to 9th. Ocon up to 16th now, but stuck in
That's currently P1.
a bit of traffic. And Ricciardo comes in, and so does Gasly. So that is going to promote Zhou up into 2nd, Russell back up into 3rd, Max just behind in 4th.
Stroll is now the car behind.
And will they get out in front of Leclerc? Please do. Please do.
There are opportunities ahead.
And yes, they do. Lovely stuff, as Sainz is putting all sorts of pressure under Charles right now. Let's see if I can get past Zhou into Spoon.
Where you can, George. We'll call the PU.
Excellent stuff.
Yeah, copy.
Once again, George getting his elbows out. And we are now 1 and 2 again. Back where we started this race.
Nice one. Solid work. Next go, Piastri. Gap 5.5. Overtake available.
I was worried for a while. And we were struggling to make our way through on the wets. I was worrying whether we'd made the wrong call, but it took us a little while, but we got back to where we were, back at the front. Now we have control of the race again. See how Leclerc gets on. It's all over the back of Gasly, who's just come out of the pits the previous lap on fresh tyres. Same for Ricciardo just in front, who's all over the back of Valtteri. And a reminder as well that over the next week or so, I am going to be, eager to hear any feedback on audio levels, whether the game is too loud, too quiet, whether I'm too loud or too quiet. While we continue to try and configure OBS and get it into a point where we can just press a button and go live without any issues whatsoever. I am going to keep playing around with the bit rate as well. Just try and make sure that we don't have any frame lag or anything like that. So it will be a little experimental for the next week or so. But at least we seem to have got the image sorted out this time. Joe is not going away. We are not pulling away from him. George is lapping slightly, well, at least on the last lap, he lapped slightly quicker than Oscar. Let's see what we do across the line this time. He's going on the attack, isn't he? He's trying to find his way through. Could Joe finish on the podium tonight, I wonder?
Very heavy rain.
It's not that heavy. Calm yourself there, Mr. Stallard. Panicked me for a second then. 137.2 for Oscar, 136.9 for George, 136.7. Well, 136.8 for Joe. He's definitely trying to find his way through.
Behind 0.4.
Assuming that the chat will be more reliable on the PC. But I'm going to quickly log in with my phone and see if I'm missing any chat messages. Looks like we're all caught up. Good, good. Joe now coming under pressure from Max. Our fuel is coming down nicely. Ocon still down in 16th place behind Sargent. Leclerc still in 9th behind Gasly and Ricciardo. Valtteri's holding off Ricciardo for now. And then there's a big gap from Albon back up to Max. So we've got a nice breakaway here. Don't think Leclerc is going to be an issue for the rest of this race. But Max certainly will be. As he lunges up the inside of Zhou, gets that move done. And now he is onto the podium. And now he's having a look at George. Both Williams cars running in the top 10 right now. Could be another good week for them as Gasly started to push forward. He's got past Ricciardo and now Valtteri. Albon's pushed a little bit as well. You can see that gap's come down. The 137.7 last lap. And here comes Max again. He's going to have a look and try and get at the inside of us through 130R. Can we hold him off through the triangle?
Joe, car behind. Yeah, now one.
No, Max
Keep
is
it down.
through. So we are going to have to reclaim that place at some point. Let's take a look at tyre wear.
Joe, car behind.
Still in pretty good shape. And now Joe's going to go through because he's got the slipstream to Max. Oh, we've been caught napping there.
So Albon behind.
Let's just do a little bit of saving while we're behind Joe before we punch back through again.
Do we need to keep the lift and coast up a bit more now?
Coming.
George recommend we start bringing the battery back up.
Coming.
Yellow flag. Someone made a mistake.
There's a yellow flag.
Oh, it's Stroll doing Stroll things again.
Whoa.
Max has taken about a second out of Oscar. He's really going for it right now. Hang on, is George in? Yeah, he is. He's in driving clean air. No wonder. No wonder he was such an easy target for Joe. As soon as Max got past us, we pulled out into clean air and left the slipstream wide open for Joe.
Coming.
That wasn't very clever. There we go, 137.5 as the track's drying up again, and a 135.6 for Max.
Joe, car ahead. Gap ahead at 1.2.
Max is absolutely pushing.
Push and hold, overtake.
Coming.
Let's see if we can get back on terms.
Rain is getting heavier in the pit lane.
Not by much.
Charge the pack.
Coming.
Confidence levels have just eroded away back to starting level. That will help George. get back towards peak confidence. Up his pace a little bit more.
Nice job. That's current.
So this is what happened. It was George Russell involved. The opportunity begging to be taken. Up into third and contending for a podium place.
New fastest lap of the race for Daniel Ricciardo, 135.4. Track will get drier before the end of the race, so I will wait until then before I try and reclaim it. Valtteri's dropping a little bit. He's now been passed by Charles Leclerc, down to 9th. His tyres starting to fade a bit earlier than everyone else's. George has pulled away from Zhou. I don't think I've made much progress onto the back of Max though. 137.1 for Oscar. 137.4 for Max. 136.8 for George. Oh, I have made some progress. Took nearly 7/10 out of him. And the new fastest lap for Charles Leclerc, 135.3. So he tries to hunt down Ricciardo. Ocon still all the way down in 15th place. Puncturing one Red Bull, that is, misfortune. Puncturing both Red Bulls, that is sloppy team management. And it has taken them out of this race, and Ocon has probably taken him out of the points entirely. How far away is he from Norris? 9 seconds. He's still got a chance of getting into the bottom of the points, but he's got a lot of traffic to get through. He's struggling at the moment in the middle of this train to get past Iwasa. Evening, Victor. How are you? So, with 38 laps or 37 laps done, halfway through lap 38, we are still leading with Oscar by about 3.5 seconds from Max. George about 3 seconds behind. We're starting to pull away from Zhou now. Albon 13 seconds behind Zhou in 5th place, and it's Gasly and Ricciardo and Leclerc all on his gearbox. Norris in 9th, 4 seconds back. He's gone ahead of Valtteri, who's hanging on for 10th right now. His tyres are not in great shape. The wet weather is probably going to see him switch to full wets when it hits. Water level's starting to creep back up again. Then it's Sainz from Van Dorn, Perez, Iwasa, Ocon down in 15th place. Both Red Bulls puncturing their wet tyres earlier in the Grand Prix. Sargent is 16th and Sonoda 17th, 18th for Lawson, 19th for Mori, 20th for Stroll and 21st for Petit, with Porsche having retired with a broken gearbox. And start to hunt down
Overtake is available.
Verstappen.
Sorry.
So happy to drop lift and coast.
And let's open up the gap in front of him a bit more as well.
Oscar, you can reduce the LICO slightly.
Here. Use overtake.
Copy.
Getting close to the track drying up to its driest point, so I'm actually going to harvest some battery now with Oscar. Make sure he's got a real chance of getting the fastest lap.
Copy. Use overtake. Copy.
And we're going to keep pushing George. Not really any decent overtaking opportunities now until the hairpin just before and just after.
And when you can, feedback on your tyres.
And the exit of the hairpin through 220R is probably the best overtaking opportunity if you deploy your battery. So we're going to go for that.
Gap 0.6. And overtake is available.
Copy.
Just gonna have a look at the inside to Spoon. Gets on through. Pushes Max over the curb, as he so loves to do. And there we go. We are back into second place.
P2 to Piastri next car. 4.2.
Copy.
Question now is, can we keep Max behind us? Max
That's
immediately going back
P2.
on the attack.
Next car is Piastri. Gap ahead.
And he retakes the place.
Verstappen.
Ah, all that hard work for nothing.
Gap 0.2. So Joe's going to be the car behind.
But Joe is out of it now. 7.5 seconds and falling further back.
And recharge should be
See if we
on.
can get Max back
Yeah.
here again.
Overtake available.
Yeah.
This time Max has the inside line covered through Spoon.
Copy. Copy.
Overtake will be available.
Copy.
We're into that last little lull before the track starts to get wet again, so I'm going to start pushing the tyres
Gap 0.7.
for both drivers.
Keep your head down. Let's go flat out.
You can start pushing. I was going to suggest reduce a bit, lift and coast.
Yeah.
Because I've got, I think, enough of a margin now to make the switch to full wets and still get out in front of Leclerc. It's going to be very close. New fastest lap for Rock on a 1:35.1. We're going to go for a new fastest lap with Oscar at the end of this lap. She's coming up to lap one of the Ferraris.
Maximum pace now, maximum pace.
Copy. Okay, so let's just get head down now.
So it won't be long until this track starts to get very wet again.
Bit of rain. We have a blue flag.
Another new fastest lap for Sainz now, 1:34.8. Still, the track gets drier. Let's try and get back in front of Max now.
Okay.
Once again, he tries to block us off.
Verstappen just ahead of yourself. Head 0.2.
And we're going to take the inside line through 130R. And that move is done. We are through.
So let's keep this up.
132.8, the new
P2.
fastest lap.
So next car will be Piastri. Gap 6.5.
Going to keep pushing. Track's still drying up. Our radar is a little behind, or a little ahead of what's actually happening. At any moment, that water level is going to start to skyrocket. We are 29 seconds ahead with Oscar over Albon, so he'll be safe. Be a little bit more touch and go with George, which is why I'm trying to push him as hard as I can. Down to
George
almost
recommends we start
DRS
bringing the
level
battery back up.
of water. Just 6 minutes away, according to this, from it going full wets again. Gap to Albon now, 23 seconds. We're going to cut to the fight here. We go to dry track, and this might help some of these cars in this train here start to move forward, as Norris has got in front of Charles.
Starting to see signs of some overheating.
Your recharge on is good.
133.1 and a 133.2. Let's see what anyone else can do. Still waiting for that water to come back. It's going to need to come back soon. Actually going to calm the tyres down so they don't burn out too quickly now.
Copy. And if we could just do a little bit more lift and coast.
Yeah, copy, all good.
And here comes the water. It's taking its time, but it's starting to come back. There goes the DRS. George now 23.5 seconds almost clear of Albon, about 25 seconds clear of Gasly.
Oscar, fuel is okay.
Let's start pushing.
Hammer the tyres again.
Raining heavy in pit lane.
I'm not worried about Oscar's pace. I'm worried about George. I'm just not sure if he's got enough of a gap to get in and out. A bad stop could be podium ending for George.
How's the tyre?
Still okay for now.
Just give us some feedback on the tyres.
Got that vibration again.
And still we haven't hit that period, and now the wet weather's been pushed back a little bit more.
Fuel on plan.
Alright, there we go. We've got 26 seconds now to Norris, 25 seconds to Albon. Hopefully that's enough. But at this point, I may just stay on these tyres. I don't know. That rain's going to have to hit hard and hit any moment to justify it now.
So as much tyre cooling as you can manage, please.
Just 6 laps to go after this one. And we are seeing people boxing for wets. Oh, here we go. It's coming this lap.
Let's go.
You can see the water rocketing up now.
So happy to drop lift and coast.
Copy.
suggest reduce a bit, lift and coast.
Copy.
You think staying out's the best call? Maybe. Wet tyres for Leclerc. Wet tyres for Valtteri. It'll be wets for Van Dorn as well. Up to 3 mil. I'm going one more lap. If Max boxes, I'll box. If Max doesn't box, I won't.
Five laps to go now.
Covered.
Max has stayed out. This has now put me in an awkward position where I'm going to have to go a lap longer than I wanted to if I do make the stop. Because I don't know what Verstappen's going to do. If he boxes, I won't be able to catch him. Joe, I can catch him. No problem at all. Hell, George can come out not too far behind Joe. He'll easily get past him as well. But if Max doesn't box, there's no way I'll get that win back. Everyone else is diving in. Let's look for the Williams mechanics. I don't see them out there.
And that's 4 laps to go.
Yeah, copy.
Max is staying out. I have to stay out then.
Copy.
Ocon has stayed out. Leclerc has made that step over to the full wets. Let's see how quickly he catches his teammate. He's surprised I considered stopping. Well, I thought, you know, there's a lot more water still to come, but I thought it would get wetter quicker than it did. And, you know, with that many laps, I didn't think I'd have enough pace on the inters to hold off the wet tyres. But because it's taken longer than expected for the water to come, and it still hasn't hit as bad as it should have done, yeah, staying out has been the right decision.
Three to go. Copy.
I wouldn't be at all surprised if it finishes well over 5 mil on the last lap. see that spike that we're going through now is much more severe in terms of the incline angle. It's been much more compressed as well. It was supposed to get to this level of water a good few laps ago, according to the initial thoughts on the radar. We can just bring it home now. 7 seconds between our drivers, 7 seconds back to Max. Joe's a distant fourth. But Leclerc, I mean, he's absolutely flying in comparison. Look how much quicker he is. That is why I was concerned if we had a long distance on those, in the wets, that we wouldn't have the pace on the inters to hold the full wets back. Yeah, when you're 4 to 5 seconds a lap slower, you only need 4 or 5 laps to make up 20 seconds. Six laps. That's making up a pit stop and being 5 seconds further down the road than you were.
To go. You're doing well, mate. You're doing well.
Copy.
When the weather's like this, though, you can have all the pace in the world, but it makes it harder to overtake. What will work in Leclerc's favour here is the fact that everyone who stayed out on inters has got pretty much dead tyres now. Yeah, took over 5 seconds out of Ocon on that lap. Took 5 seconds out of almost everybody. He'll just go flying around the outside here because he's got so much more grip. And that's him into the points.
Tyre temperatures are good. Tyre temperatures look good.
He's already swarming all over the back of Sainz. It's going to get him into the first Degner here, maybe. Just shut the door on him. Into the hairpin then, surely. And just breezes around the outside of him. We're on our final lap. Water level now going up over 5 mil. Leclerc could get Ricciardo before the end of this race. And probably will get him as well, actually. Almost 6 seconds quicker. Less than 5. And it's just getting wetter and wetter and wetter. And I think once it gets above 5.5 mil, the inters might just automatically pull over and let him through. Just 2.5 seconds to Ricciardo. He could get Gasly as well here, potentially. It's just going to launch around the outside. That's Ricardo.
Well done, everyone. Thank you.
Oscar takes the win. George is in second.
We need to kind of...
Oscar Piastri is the winner.
There'll be celebrations tonight after a performance like that. They've done themselves and the team proud.
So you've taken the checkered flag.
Max will take third place.
So that's P2.
And Leclerc could, as I say, yet finish in seventh here.
Cheers.
Nice job, mate. Well done. Pick up rubber where you can.
Team orders when the new boy comes in. Nope. He's going to get him across the line. He's going to be close. Oh, he just missed out. He just missed out. 8th place for Charles Leclerc. Stayed out on those wets for too long the first time round. Punctured them, as did his teammate. Dropped him all the way down the order. Took the gamble onto the full wets at the end. Was blisteringly quick compared to the rest of the field. He was 7.3 seconds quicker than Pierre Gasly on that last lap. And the rain finished at 5.4 over. 5.4, 5.5. And had we had that level of rain for more the laps than we did at the end.
Wasn't it an excellent showing from Oscar Piastri?
What a
Had
brilliant
people
race
behind
that
us
was for the
boxed
team.
and we
They
didn't,
just
we'd have
did
been toast.
everything right. The driver included, of course.
Pure elation there as the driver regroups with a team that worked so hard to see this moment. With such a strong performance from Piastri, there's no denying that he's earned that place on the podium today.
There's further delight for the team as they get to see both drivers up there together.
And a lovely show of sportsmanship to conclude proceedings here in Japan.
Got a fair bit of housekeeping to get through before we end tonight's stream. Bring ourselves all the way up to the beginning of China.
How do you think they'll be feeling in the team garage at the end of that?
I doubt they could be much happier. A win and a podium place. What a great way to round out the weekend.
And that's all for today as we wrap up the weekend here in Japan.
Join us for the next round as we head to Shanghai for all the excitement of the Chinese Grand Prix.
Confirmation then of the final result. It is another win for Oscar. That is win number 3 out of 4. George takes another podium, takes second place. Max gets third place, up 7 from where he finished. Joe finishes in 4th. Looked like he might be on for a podium for a while, but Max had too much pace for him in the end. Alex Albon up 10 places to take 5th there. Some excellent points for him and Aston Martin. 6th place for Lando Norris. 7th for Gasly. 11 places gained. Another strong afternoon for Williams. 21 points earned this weekend. Leclerc down in 8th place there. Then it's 9th for Daniel Ricciardo. 10th for Valtteri Bottas, who does manage to hang on for another point. Looking at the bottom half, we've got Sainz in 11th. 12th for Ocon, down 8 places. Bad race for both Red Bulls today, but him in particular as well. Van Dorn takes 13th ahead of Iwasa in 14th. Then Perez from Sonoda, Sargent from Lawson, Stroll in 19th. Another miserable race for Stroll, miserable weekend. Murray retired at the end there, ran out of fuel by the look of it. Sylvain Petit finishes 21st with a lap down, and Théo Pourchaire retired with a broken gearbox. In the drivers' standings then, it's 94 points out of 100 for Oscar. That is an excellent start to his title defence there. George in second place on 72 points. Will that be his final race of the season and his final points tally? He's on 4 podiums and 1 pole position this year. Not bad for 4 races. Leclerc in third still, but only 8 points ahead of Verstappen now, who's moved above the second Red Bull of Ocon into 4th place. No points for Ocon tonight. He sits 7 points further back. Then it's Norris in 6th, 2 points behind Esteban. Zhou moves up 7 places into 7th tonight. Gasly up 2 into 8th. Stroll down 2, no points for him. He stays on 12 points in 9th. Albon up 6 places into 10th with his first points of the season. Then it's Sainz in 11th, Valtteri in 12th, Pourchaire is 13th. Another miserable weekend for him. Second DNF of the season. Tsunoda, a bit of an uneventful race for him after issues in practice and qualifying. Let's not forget we had 2 red flags in qualifying. One of them was Yuki at the start of Q2 spinning out and crashing his car. Van Dorn in 15th, then it's Ricciardo's 16th, 17th for Iwasa, 18th for Sargent, 19th for Perez, 20th for Lawson, 21st for Masao Mori, and Sylvain Petit in 22nd. Neither Ferrari even close to scoring points at this point. In the constructor standings, 166 points now for Brabham. We sit more than double ahead of Red Bull's score on 83, which is very, very nice. In fact, no, exactly double their score. Williams in 3rd on 54 points, ahead of McLaren by 16 there. RB are 5th with 18 points, none for them today. They're being closed down now by Alpine, up 3 places into 6th with 14 points, just ahead of Aston Martin, who also have 14. Mercedes dropping down 2 with 12 points in 8th. Then Sauber down into 9th, despite picking up an extra point from Valtteri again today. Haas 10th with no points, and Ferrari no points either. We got one of our cars into the top 10 for pit stops today. George in 6th place with a 2.075, just 1,000th quicker than Stoffel's time there, 2,000ths quicker than Norris, and just 2,000ths slower than Haas. Haas with both their cars in there, actually. So Haas are really starting to come good as a pit crew under Jonathan Wheatley's tutelage there. Ferrari, again, getting another good timed stop in there, but it's Ocon with the quickest stop, a 1.989. Alpine, again, we saw that stop. Very, very good there for Logan Sargent. So we stay top, but Red Bull have closed the gap. They're just 7 points behind us now, having outscored us by 17 points today. Mercedes in 3rd on 58. Then Ferrari up 1 into 4th place. Haas up 3 into 5th. McLaren dropping down 2 places into 6th, with Aston dropping into 7th. Alpine move above RB into 8th. And then Williams are 10th and Sauber 11th. Neither of those 2 teams have yet to score. And there you see our stops. So 2.1 for Oscar's first attempt. Not good enough to get on the leaderboard. And then problem with a sticky wheel nut for his second stop there. But only lost about a second, which isn't too bad. Normally, a sticky wheel nut, you're losing at least 2 seconds. So that's quite encouraging. A 2.3 for George's first stop, and then his point-winning stop there, a 2.07 for his second stop. Both drivers did finish with their targets achieved, so it's another 1.95 mil earned from the sponsors. And again, no contract payout for George. Is that his last opportunity? Let's have a look. Okay, our chassis is ready to go into production. Let's start building a couple of those. this will be worth a nice little bit of extra downforce, a tiny bit more speed, and will hopefully improve our DRS a bit. Will also give us some nice improvement to our engine cooling, which is currently pretty bad. So we've got 2.1 mil. That's enough to build 3. So let's get 3 of those going. I do need to build another suspension. So let's get one of those going. There we go. Let's go to the inbox. Research is now available, which means we have the results of the regulation vote. We'll see that in just a second. Let's see how our cars came through. We know that the suspension's failed because it said so when we went to make a new one. And it failed on Oscar's car. Everything on George's car came through. Good. Regulation vote. I wanted cooling focus changes, and it looks as though that's what we've got. A 6-5 vote. McLaren, Mercedes, Alpine, Haas and RB voted against. Everyone else voted for. So cooling will be affected more than airflow for next season. That's good, because we're pretty good when it comes to being able to research around cooling changes. Alright, to our drivers. Please, 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 please. No! Oh, come on! Oh, it's so frustrating. Right, we have 11 days till China. Let's start by fixing up the car. So, we've got no spare suspensions left, but we have got one more on the way. Don't quite have enough to make 2 of them yet. We're still good on everything else. We've got a second side pod in the works, which will be ready for George's car by the time we do get to China. We're going to have to replace the rear wing at China, or just after, on both cars by the look of it. Chassis are under threat, but they're about to be replaced. Underfloor, medium risk there on George's car. And on Oscar's as well. So we'll have to be ready to make some more underfloors soon as well. It might be a little redundant because there may be part failures, but let's take a quick look at Williams. Again, we really don't know how good these numbers are. We'll check them again when we get to China. But they have got some pretty good speed in that car. They are quicker than us at the moment. If anything, it looks like our speed might have dipped ever so slightly. I thought we were slightly quicker than that. Alright, advancing time. There is that spare side pod. Let's go and fit that now before I forget. There we go. So both cars now running the same side pod without a spare. 209k in the bank. It's not enough to do anything. Oh, and the factory's on fire. Of course the factory's on fire. Oh dear, oh dear. 14 days! Oh my word. Well, there go the chassis for China. At least we got the side pod out for George just in time. Oh man. How long of a turnaround do we have before Miami? 2 weeks. So we might get a part in time for Miami. Oh man. It happens every season. You'd think that the building crews would learn by now, you know, not to call in, you know, cowboy builders and shoddy electricians. But apparently not. Alright, let's get to the start of the next week, Monday the 19th. Oh, we have something in the inbox. Just let me know I'm out of side pods and I can't build any more because I don't have a factory at the moment. Alright, Monday the 19th. Can we now, please, replace George? God damn it. Why can I not promote him up? I don't want to terminate George's contract and see if it opens the box up, just in case. I mean, look, Anton, I mean, he's got more confidence at the moment in terms of mentality, but look at the difference in stats. Adaptability is George's biggest strength. But he's losing out almost everywhere else. He's got a couple more points in defending as well, but he's losing out in smoothness, control, braking quite substantially. Reactions are slightly worse, accuracy slightly worse, overtaking significantly worse, although, again, Antonelli's got a higher confidence boost right now. It's not that, Jack. It's he came in at the beginning of the year, and it's still too soon from him having signed that contract, apparently, for us to try and offer him a promotion into George's seat. It's annoying as hell, because he's got his super license. He's ready to go in. But I just can't get him in the car. At least I think he's got his super license. He should have it. Yeah, he's got his super license. He is ready to go in the car. Let's change up his training a little bit. Let's see. Adaptability is a weakness. That is only weakness, I think, is his adaptability. Defending could do with a little boost. Yeah, I mean, they're not his baseline stats. I mean, he's getting +7s and +8s. Somewhere in that kind of range. But even so... check again after the next race. We've been checking every race since since we signed him. Let's put him on wet track, just to get that adaptability up and boost the smoothness and control at the same time. But yeah, he's turning into an absolute monster of a driver. This is why I want to get him in the car. Alright, let's check in with the board. So, back to being delighted after the only happy of Melbourne. Still got that little disappointment of finances there, but it's not exactly significant. You know, tiny little amounts. If you take out January. And we were pretty much always going to start the month of January with a little bit of debt until we get our money from our sponsors to get rid of that. I'm trying to remember why we did go into debt in March. I think maybe I just added an extra part in without realising it would put me in debt. CFD Sim needs a refurb. Car Park Test Centre needs a refurb. We're going to try and get an upgrade on the Car Park Test Centre. This will just need a refurb, though, I think. It's not cheap, though. I mean, it's a quarter of the price of an upgrade, but the upgrade is just so expensive at 10 mil. Our race sim is 11 days away from hitting the next level, going up to rank 4. Team hub is fine. Helipad needs a little spruce, a little spit and polish. Let's go ahead and do that. That'll take 6 days. That won't be ready in time for China. Should have checked that earlier. Never mind. Memorabilia room is going to need a little boost soon as well. A little refurb. That's only a couple of percent away. Hospitality, I want to get an upgrade on that. But again, I don't have the nearly 3 mil I need for that. So that's a bit frustrating. Oh, my second screen just turned itself off. Come back. Come on. There we go. Right. Let's advance time. Right, we're a day before China. Please. Surprise me, go on. Damn it. Alright, so George gets another race. He's going to get his sprint race. A sprint race this year, by the look of it. That's so frustrating. I desperately wanted to put Antonelli in for the Chinese Grand Prix. What's the weather going to be like? It's going to be dry throughout the weekend. Well. There we go then. There are the current standings. As you can see, we lead both championships, and very comfortably so at the moment as well. But having said that, we started very strong last year and then fell away as the season progressed before fighting back towards the end of the year again. I think it'll be a little easier for us this year, but Red Bull did not do themselves any favours today. I mean, they had the pace to really hurt us at one point, and then they just messed up their tyres and punctured both of their drivers before, they brought them in. Left them out there too long, and that killed their opportunity. Ferrari are still in an absolutely disastrous state right now. Still have the worst driver pairing on the grid by a long way. They have no rookies. They have nothing at all. That's a team battling back from bankruptcy, it seems. Williams have recovered quite nicely. It is China now, so let's have a little investigation of their car. You see, don't really have huge amounts of downforce according to the rankings, but we know that the rankings don't always paint a clear picture. So if we actually dive into numbers, you can see not that far behind us in the low speed. They're only 0.01 G behind us in the medium speed, and they're only 0.1012 behind in the high speed. So those numbers don't look great, but they're not horrifically bad. Dirty air tolerance, they are down about 3% on us. Tyre wear is just a little bit worse than ours. Engine cooling a little bit better. They have some very good speed though in a straight line. Acceleration is not great, and their DRS again looks really bad, being 21st. We're only 17th, but the gap is 1%. It's nothing. So who are Ferrari's drivers? That is a very good question. Masao Mori and Sylvain Petit. Who the hell are those guys? They are new gen drivers, and they are appallingly bad. Let's go to scouting information. Here they are. There are the Ferrari drivers. Look at those terrible, terrible stats. It's no wonder Ferrari is struggling so much for pace right now. They are awful. They only have 8 months left on their contract. They are on the lowest possible salary of 100k. They have a $3,000 bonus if they hit 10th. They haven't even come close to anywhere near the points right now. They have a buyout fee. Who the hell would want to buy them? I do not know. But yeah, it's looking like we're going to be moving to Ferrari to try and sort them out next year, because they are in a right state. I don't think they've signed any reserves. They certainly haven't had any since the beginning of the year. Let's have a little look, see if they have managed to actually get themselves a rookie. I mean, they're rated lower than most of the F3 grid. The entire F3 grid, actually, for that matter, is rated higher than the two drivers that are in, you know, in the race seats for Ferrari. That's pretty bad. That's pretty bad indeed. Yeah, we think Ferrari went bankrupt. So, I mean, they had quite a few crashes last year and took a lot of penalties towards the end of this season. And I think they ended up breaching the cost cap really badly. So, yeah. Difficult times ahead for Ferrari. They will potentially be going be where we're going next year. I did actually reload our end of year to see if I could go to Red Bull. Go to Ferrari instead of Brabham for this season, and my managerial rating isn't high enough, unfortunately. So another season would be required anyway. But my rating, if I can find my profile there, is 850. I think they wanted like 870 or something like that at Ferrari. I wasn't far away. I think it might only have been 857 for that matter. I was only a few points away. But Ferrari did not think I was good enough. But clearly, who they thought was good enough previously, you know, did a disastrous job. Fred Vasseur has not been the best steward for the team, it would seem. He's still there as well. He'll be there until we take over, and then when we leave, he'll immediately slot straight back in again. There's no dynamic team manager aspect to the transfer market, which is a little bit of a shame. Be interesting to see team principals moving as well. But is Yuki still at Red Bull? Yes, I think so. Or is he Alpine? I can't remember. No, there he is. He's at he's there. I don't think he's stayed there though. Oh no, he has. He's been there all the way through. Look, he's the only constant, I think. Apart from Lando, who's been locked in that long-term contract. Who else has moved around a bit? Charles has obviously left Ferrari and come to Red Bull this season. Max has been at Williams since beginning of season 2. Ocon has been here now. He's in his 3rd season at Red Bull. Norris is there, still at McLaren. Joe at Alpine's been there for, I think, just 1 and a bit years. I think last year was his first year there. Gasly's been at Williams. That's his 2nd season at Williams, I think, alongside Max. Stroll has been there for a couple of seasons. Albon, I think, is that his 1st season? Yeah, it's his 1st season. He was off the grid last year after getting dropped by Williams for Gasly, and has returned to Aston this year. Sainz has been at Mercedes for a few seasons now. Bottas has stayed at Sauber. Porsche was at Sauber, I think. No, where was he? He was at Haas, wasn't he? If memory serves. Oh, he was at Mercedes. Yeah, they had a season at Sauber as their reserve, and then no, he had a season in the Mercedes, in the Sauber as an actual driver, and then went to Mercedes for a couple of seasons, and then when they signed Ricciardo to replace him after he signed his contract here at McLaren, Ricciardo's bounced around all over the place. He's been with RB at the start, then us, then McLaren, now at Mercedes. Who else has moved around? We've got a few retirements or drivers off the grid. Logan Sargent came back from nowhere as well to reappear on the grid last year at Alpine, and he's managed to keep his seat this year. Iwasa, it's his debut season, replacing Enzo Fittipaldi. Checo's been there for a while, as is Lawson now. The Ferrari drivers are all over the place. Yeah, it's been a very interesting market. No Hamilton. Hamilton is off the grid, as is Fernando Alonso, who appears to have retired outright. I never saw an email to say that he was retiring, but he is not in the list of drivers available anymore. Unless I missed him. I don't think he's there anymore. Yeah, he's not there anymore. Where is Hamilton? He's going to be down towards the 70s now. There he is, 85, free agent. He may well retire at the end of this season. 42 years old now. But there we go. That is it for tonight. We are prepped and ready for when we come back on Monday with the next Brabham race. That'll be China. That will hopefully be George's last race, and we can finally get Kimi in the car. Maybe May will be the month of Antonelli. We shall see. Hope you've enjoyed tonight's race. If you have, please do drop a like. If you're not yet subscribed, please consider subscribing to the channel as well, and hit that bell notification, built that bell icon for notifications of when I go live with my streams. You can also subscribe to the second channel that's getting PC content any day now. And don't forget to add me on Twitch. I will be streaming on Twitch at a couple of points this weekend. We'll do a bit more of the Porsche save. Might do a bit more trucking as well. We shall see. But that's it from me. Thanks for watching. I am Jim Bob, and I'll be back with more F1 Manager very soon.